Moms and dads, we're here to do another video, and I do have some helpers. I have
Drew,
and
Callum, Jackson, Abby, Chantel.
so this is kind of special. We actually have second graders and we have a third grade visitor who I worked with a little bit last year. So today I want to talk to you a little bit more about adding 2-digit and 3-digit numbers. But before we get started, I just wanted to review how we solve word problems. And the first thing I am always telling you before you solve any problem,
Read the directions and problem.
the problem, because that's where all the information is. Then you have to ask yourself,
What do I know?
and where do you find that information?
In the problem.
In the problem. And then you ask yourself,
What do I want to know?
where do you find that?
In the problem.
In the problem. And then you need to,
Decide what to do.
so you're either combining, separating or removing, comparing, sharing, and then you just do it. And we've insisted that when we solve problems, all the problems have to have an equation, they have to have proof, and there has to be writing that explains their thinking. So we solve our math problems more than one way. So the first problem I'm going to show you is 43 plus 19. And one thing that we teach them to do is to draw a line down the middle. And what's really funny, we don't start with the ones, we start
The 10.
with the tens. And we know this isn't really a 4, it's really
40.
it's 40. So 40 plus
10.
equals
50.
50. And then I go to my ones column where I have 9 plus 3
Equals 12.
equals 12. And then I just add my columns up, which is going to give me
62.
62. Okay, this is one way of solving it. We also solve it a different way. Not everybody likes to write their problems up and down. Some people like to write them across. So if I take my 43 plus 19, how would I add this one? What would I add first?
43 plus 19.
Well, I want to break it apart first.
40 plus 10.
So I have 40 plus 10, and then what would I do?
3 plus 9.
3 plus 9. So what is that going to give me? 40 plus 10,
50.
and then 3 plus 9, 12.
62.
Which gives me 62. And is that the same sum that we got before?
Yes.
Yes.
As
Now-
the way it still works.
Now, some people aren't ready to break their numbers apart. And we have a new fallback strategy. We used to say, when in doubt, draw circles. But now we say, when in doubt,
Tens and not tens.
draw tens and ones. So I would have 43, 10, 20, 30, 40, 41, 42, 43. And then I have 19,
You
which is
draw 1 10
1
and
10
9 ones.
and 9 ones.
Then you add then you count both together.
So I have 10,
20,
30, 40, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55.
56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62. Answer 62.
So it's still the same, but we've got 3 different ways of adding it. So I haven't really taught them the carrying and borrowing way, but this is very similar to that. Because they know if I have more than 10 ones, I can trade.
I can trade 10 of those for 1 stick.
For 1 stick. So we do talk about the trading, but we break it down differently.
So if you 3-digit.
In 3-digit. And we would use exactly the same strategies. The only thing that's different is that we now have
one more number.
an extra column of numbers. You're right. So if I were to add, let's say 436 plus 125. When I draw hundreds, I make a square.
And then you do the tens and ones.
So nothing has changed except I know that this 4 isn't really a 4, it's 4 hundredths. This 3
is a 30.
is a 30, so I have my 3 tens.
And my 6
ones.
ones.
And then over here I have my 100,
Just 1 square.
my 2 tens,
And my 5 ones.
and my 5 ones. And then I just count it up. So I have 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 510, 520, 530, 540, 550, 551, 552, 553, 554, 555, 556, 557, 558, 559, 560, 561.
Answer 561.
561. That's a lot of counting. Hopefully by the time that you are working with your hundreds, you're moving more into breaking numbers apart. So if I were to break it apart, what would I add first?
400
400
plus 100 equals 500.
30 plus 20 equals 50. And 6 plus 5 equals 11.
And then I have my 561, where I got the same answer. And some people like doing it across. The other way we do it is the up and down.
Computation.
436 plus 125. I talked about drawing the lines because as we get more numbers, it's real important to be organized so that you know what you're adding. So again, I add my hundreds. 400
plus 100 equals 500.
And then I have 30 plus 20.
50.
Oh, 30 plus 20.
50.
And then I have 6 plus 1. I'm sorry, 6 plus 5.
11.
11. Which gives me 561. So when they solve the problems like this is the proof that I'm looking for. The carrying and borrowing doesn't give the same amount of proof that we're asking for. So that's why we're having them break it apart as much as we are. So hopefully this has been helpful, and watch for our next one that's going to be on subtraction.
Thank you for watching.
Oh, that's right. You guys want to say goodbye?
Goodbye.